They must have the slowest horses ever pulling this bleeding wagon, mustn't they? She ain't going to go past here like past 2. Surely the horses will bump into her on the way down to the post. Yeah, no, I'm just here to look at you. Liney, what tasty women here. Don't you ugly men. All you ugly men, get out of the way.
Hello, and a big warm welcome. Yes, it is our second preview of the week for the Bar Stewards on Patreon for the Royal Ascot meeting, and hopefully we can sort of build on what we started. We weren't brilliant, but we weren't too bad. Bellocchio was strongly mentioned on the first day, and there were some other mentions for some nice price sort of places, etc., etc. So let's see if we can build on it. I'm quietly confident we can, because I've been quite subdued these first 2 days. And of course, we're recording this before we run the 5:40 and 6:15 today. So that means we don't know if we've done any good in those. But without further ado, introduce myself and John. Nick Davis joining us this evening to plough some of his experience into the tips. Good evening, Nick.
Good evening, Lee. How are you?
Good. Yes, that was an Indian accent there from Nick. Good as always. And John, my partner in crime. Any good today, mate?
Second in the Queen Mary was probably as good as it got, really. Couple of place bets that wouldn't have excited anybody, but yeah, Queen Mary second was a good pick, I thought. But there you go.
Well, listeners, I think we can do better, because I feel better about the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday. I think there's more ammo at nice prices as well. Not many favourites that I'll certainly be tipping for a change. So I'll be interested to hear what John and Nick think as well. So without further ado, let's get on with it. And it's the Norfolk Stakes to begin things on Thursday. The Norfolk Stakes, of course, over the minimum trip. Notable winners of this race in the past: Johannesburg, No Nay Never for Bingo, just to please John in 2013, and Perfect Power, which went on to obviously record dominant wins in Group 1 company subsequently after that. So this is the pinnacle 5-furlong race that isn't impossible either for fillies to win. Shang did it in 2018. So where do we start here? John, have you got a strong opinion in this?
I think Whistle Jacket will be very hard to beat, to be honest.
Yes, absolutely.
I think the run behind Coward of the County was excellent. He's took a real step forward after that. The vibes are good. It looks like the lads are on. Do you make a lot of money taking on the lads?
I know for a fact this is the best they've got, like, of the early season 2-year. By some way as well. They feel this is an absolute class act. And obviously the sire won the race, No Nay Never. I just feel at the prices, it's getting tight. And what I say to our listeners on the first couple of days is keep an eye on the exchanges, because the bookmakers make you buy it. You know, they'll cut it and cut it and cut it. And they know what everyone wants to back. This is like Man City at home to Burnley. They know what everyone wants to be on, -1 in handicaps. And I think this is it. I think this is where we're at. And I think Whistle Jacket will take the world of beating. I think it's the banker of the meeting so far. But am I going to take 5-4 with a bookmaker? No. I'm going to hope the show prices on the machine can hold out for a little bit bigger than that. Nick Davis, any view in this?
No forking kilo.
I love the frankness we need on certain races. We've wheeled him in to get the experience. And I know for a fact there'll be certain races coming up that he will have far more opinion than the Norfolk. So me and John, strong on Whistle Jacket to get the meeting started. Next race is, of course, the King George V handicap. Going back through some past winners of this, looking at it, one of my favourite horses, Moon Madness, won this in 1986. Remember that? Was that Lady Aries?
It was. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It
might have been John Dunlop, actually.
Lady Aries owned it, I think.
Duchess of Norfolk owned it, didn't she? The light blue with the red check quartered cap.
And, of course, went on to win the St. Leger that season. So Moon Madness won that. Dandino in 2010.
You can throw a nice horse up this.
Yeah, and Hookham in 2020. So this race does, like John says, this race can throw some nice horses up. And I know for a fact this is a race that John particularly loves. So, John, I'm going to come to you first because I know you like to solve this or find one. What are you thinking?
I think I've solved this. My only worry is the settling of the horse, and I think he'll settle all right. And that's French Joker Roger Varians.
Yeah.
I honestly think this is a class act, this horse. I think it's 100 horse. And the race that gave me the clue that I thought it was 100 horse actually was, believe it or not, the middle of his 3 runs at Wolverhampton. It was just like a complete non-event of a ride from David Egan. It was out the back, almost detached, racing wide. And he showed no interest at all in getting the horse in the race. But from about 2.5 out, this horse just picked up, and the way he moved, you know, he moved like a quality animal as well. I was really staggered by how well he ran through the line and everything. That I thought, mate, that's a good horse. Then, of course, he proceeds to get beat next time out, doesn't he? But I thought he did plenty that day. We had the gate jockey up. He tried to lead. I don't think that was the best tactic, really, at that day. He'll cope perfectly well with the ground. He's by Say the Stars. They usually go like stink in this. I think the draw's perfectly acceptable. I had a fairly sizable bet on this anti-post at 10-1.
Good stuff. Well, I can report from the Varian Snout that this horse is going very well at home as well. So there's no problems in terms of preparation. The horse is extremely well. So, John, that could be a very, very good selection indeed. So John's very sweet on that for the King George. Nick, is this a race? I know, like you like the older horse handicaps, but is this a race you like to look at?
Yeah, a couple of things with this race. The same as the Duke of Edinburgh. The thing we've had in the last few years about the draw bias over 12 furlongs getting well known. Well, over the last few sort of versions of this in the Duke of Edinburgh, they have gone like stink. And if you watch, these were the 2 of the biggest meltdowns in last year in the pace war. If you remember the pace wars last year, because everyone think, oh, I'm going to get a position because I'm drawn low or something like that, and they force everyone off to go to first. Looking at one of the key races, I thought that David Egan went far too soon on Ponyross last time out. If you watch the Newbury race, quite well back, comes in at the straight, travelled very well he made ground very, very quickly. And then, obviously he couldn't cope with King's Gamble as he went past him. But he stayed on well enough to snatch second when he could have dropped back with that big move around about 4 or 3 furlongs. This could be run to suit, and if he doesn't go too soon, Egan, I think this could go very close as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of well handicapped 3-year-olds in this. This is it's going to be a strong race, I'm certain of it. Right, my play on this, I want Nick here because Nick did a recent column on forecasts on our Patreon. And really good article. Nick's old school, how he goes through the races and how he narrows it down. So I want Nick to narrow my list down. So I'm going to go through my own list. And I do like John's French Duke because there's so many of them. Right, Gilded Water, the William Haggis trained for the King. He'll be back tomorrow, sausage fingers. This was uber impressive when it beat James Webb at Chepstow. Ridiculously impressive. And Chapman, one night at Windsor, one Monday night, Marquand kept trying to sneak off, and Chapman says, I want one ride at Ascot that you've got that you are really beaming about. And this was the one he mentioned, Gilded Water. So they obviously think this is seriously well in. Like probably a few other trainers in this. So Gilded Water was the first on my list. The other one was Going the Distance of Rafe and Ralph. Though having said that, up £7 for an easy lead at Kempton, maybe that one could be discarded. Could probably just leave that out. But he is a strong galloping type. The other one was 410 Fever of the Boogiemans. That's drifting. But the thing what I like about this is they've run this twice at Chester. It's the size of a house, right? It's not bred to run round Chester. And just on the physical shape of it, that was one of my reasons when I bet it at Chester on the 9th of May, Chris Pull Trumpet. I bet it there, and a galloping track is what it wants. So Bowie's like literally got it in here just to get it in. and make sure it gets in. And you've got your galloping track, so that's that one. And then the last one, and this is a theme for the show. This is a theme. How on earth is Gaspar de Lemos the price it is? This is incredible. Second to Arabian Crown, that was like on the short to be Derby favourite. Disappointed on reappearance, but was on the wrong part of the track. That race wouldn't have suited him. But look at the field and form. Whipcracker, Caviar Heights, Ambient Friendly. How on earth is this the price it is? Then ran third to Birdman, trying to make its own running off steady fractions, which again wouldn't have suited. Slowly run race, couldn't quicken. Obviously got Dilbert, Brown, McMonigle on, which won't please John. But nevertheless, how on earth is this the price it is?
Justifying it, don't train on.
Exactly. The theme of my show, anyway, for the next is the field and form. The field and form should be followed. It's strong. There's been strong time efforts from it. We've had a Derby second from it. This is ridiculous to be that sort of price. It's just completely overlooked.
I've been looking back since you've been saying all four of those are prominent lead runners.
Right.
If my theory is correct here, that they could go a little bit too fast. They're all going to be up there.
Right. Okay.
Last year they went fucking mental in this, didn't they?
Yeah, last year.
And the Duke of Ed, we've got Cassia Sushi. They, since this 12 furlong, the 12 furlong bias has been known, they've started going a little bit faster, just trying to negate the thing. And I don't want to be shuffled back on the inside, and then they're going too fast.
This is the most interesting race on the card. So, listeners, I hope you've listened to John, Nick, and myself there with what we're thinking.
I think it's a beaut, this,
It is. It's going to be really strong form.
I think you can nut your rating by £8 here and finish 6.
Yep, absolutely.
I think it's that good.
It's one of them. If you fancy one of what we've said, it might boost your confidence. That's how we like to do things. That's our thoughts for the race combined, and we've all come up with different. Really, it shows you how good the race is. The fact that none of us have actually landed on the same horse. None of us from how many picks. So obviously, I was asking Nick to narrow it down, but Nick obviously likes a certain style of run. So I'm still going to play mine, maybe in a group Dutch, maybe a few forecasts, maybe in some multiples with some others in the card. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We move on to the next. Is the Ribblesdale, which is the 1.5 for fillies. This is usually a good renewal. I'm not so sure about the renewal.
I've got this my notes on this. This is a very, very edge, or one of the worst renewals I've seen.
That's interesting you said that, because I was like really not happy with this. When you consider, John, remember back to the glory days of Stout. Hellenic.
Oh, yeah.
Won the Yorkshire Oaks. No doubt you were there cheering it home. Peter Reynolds. He was loving that.
I was all over Wally's horse, Cartagena.
What, in that race?
Yeah, we thought Cartagena. Yeah.
Peter Reynolds.
Scared by Ballymacall, so would have thought it.
So, and obviously, probably one of the better winners in recent times was Starcatcher, won the Irish Oaks. The Prix Vermeer, won the champion fillies and mares. This race, like Nick said, and has just pointed out, is not vintage to say we've got a horse called Diamond Rain as 13-8 market leader, won on debut, which hasn't worked out. Chorus has been rather disappointing since that race. That was third. She dispatched the maiden winner next time out. To be 13-8 is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
When nothing's done, Calpana's done a little bit on the clock, I think, but there's nothing really gone massive on the clock, has it?
No, I mean, they clearly don't rate the Oaks form, because you've got 1/4 in the Oaks. All right, beat 8 lengths. Forest Fairy won the trial, beating Port Fairy at Chester. The market does not like the Oaks sort of form lines at all. It's saying, no, the unexposed one is the one to beat. They might be right, because like we've said, we're not sure. I can't be sure on the ability, the true ability of the Oaks fillies, to be honest. The one that won the Lingfield trial, John, when it beat Rubies and Red, had the easy leader, Beckett's, and that finished 4th, didn't it, in the Oaks? So,
I haven't got a positive note on any of these.
No.
Nothing.
The only thing I'd said at that time, because after the Lingfield thing, I thought this would suit Ruby's I read better than Epsom.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
I think so, yeah.
If they went a nice pace, they just got her switched off. Obviously, you prefer sort of Ryan to have chose that rather than the visored for the first time Port Fairy that was beaten by Rafe and Ralph's at Chester. So, and yet, I don't know. His fillies, usually Nick Davis says, what do you say, Nick?
No.
I think that's where we're at. We'll move on. It's Gold Cup time. And I'm going to come to, right, before I come to you, Nick, obviously Kyprios is the sort of 5-4 uneasy market leader, shall we say, taking a bit of a walk there. Nick, I know you've got a strong opinion, or a fairly strong opinion in this, so I'm going to come to you first.
I'm backing Coltrane. There's two ways you could back him. You can back him at 14s, or you could, if you really wanted to, be really snidey and go to Bet Victor and back them out without Kyprios each way at 13-2. Betting without Kyprios each way a 5th, 1, 2, 3. If you, hello, Chris.
Hello.
No, I'll tell you why. I mean, we're really not sure about Kyprios. I mean, it's beaten nothing so far this year. Is it still good? And I'll tell you, Coltrane, right? We all keep saying this. Oh, this is inconsistent sort of division. If you look at Coltrane's run on really fast ground, 1-1-1, 2-1. His second was to Courage on me in this race last year. So he's had 5 runs. On fast ground, 2022 Ascot Stakes, which he was on ground that was slightly slower than Kyprios was a couple of days later. No win, nothing at all. He's carried £2 more and gone quarter of a second faster. I know it's hard to compare, but it proves he belongs there. You've got Sweet William, Will It Go Past? Trawlerman, did that win I thought that won because Ryan made a bit of a cock up on Kyprios last year. Trusham won't won. Does Wallband stay? Case Coruscant will pull its chances away. Sweet William only got there just from Case Coruscant because it pulled its chance away. And then you're betting, does Gregory stay? Unproven. So that I think 14-1's far too big.
I love your ground explanation. I think if the Coltrane turns up that was last year and so at peak, that's got to be one of the shrewdest bets ever at each way with Chris Pull's team.
Kyprios, yeah.
Oof. Yeah, that is one that we'd all love to play. So if you've got a Bet VC account, you know what to do after listening to Nick there. John, are you really bored of the stayers running round over and over again?
It is rather depressing, isn't it? I mean, Jesus, Sagaro would have spat these out, wouldn't he?
For sure.
I can't back Kyprios because I don't think he's the same horse. I've been very underwhelmed with his 2 runs this year, and I was extremely underwhelmed with his run at Ascot last year as well, when he looked to put it to bed, and then he had a nightmare and got up for a drink, didn't he?
Yeah.
I can't really see me having a bet in the race, to be honest. I don't like any of them. They're not likeable horses, these.
Does it kind of bore you, like in that respect?
These do, because none of them give me hope. They don't generate any optimism in me at all,
No, I'm with Nick on this. I think Coltrane can do like his case on really quick ground for that. He's probably right. He really does love rattling quick.
Well, at least he gets the fucking trip, doesn't he? And
he's been there, done it. It's one of them. It's a lot of don't run the potential races that people think they're going to. Then this is the one to take advantage, and I do like. I mean,
some of these gnarly bastards, they won't even be able to walk 2 furlongs out, will they?
505 is, of course, the Britannia, a race which was very, 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 very kind to us last year with Docklands, thanks to the brilliance of Mr. John Lang.
Well, I'm pretty after the brilliance of Miss Haley Turner, to be honest. But
well, I'm surprised she comes down side because it was as she told Nick Luck on Sunday. The reason they avoid the stands rail at Ascot is because the horses don't like the crowd. But then she came up the stands rail then. So anyway, Britannia teleprompter won this in 1983.
Never made all, surely.
No.
Never So Bold was beaten in this as well.
No
Wow.
wonder.
Yeah. The great teleprompter.
Did he wait in the final furlong, Nick?
Yeah, they tried him. He did win over 7 though, and he won. He dropped back to 6 after this and won the Great St Wilfrid as a 3-year-old.
Oh, really?
Wow, I love this knowledge. Who trained teleprompter?
Bill Watts.
Bill Watts. And where did he train out of? Was it near Brighton?
Hergin Lodge, Richmond, just across from the old racecourse.
There we go.
And the old fella's mate designed the barn complex that he had there.
Wow.
There's one for you.
Loving this. But the most winning trainer in this is, of course, the Baron and Gosden. The Baron has trained Finite, Baldancer, Ajard, and Mostershire to win this. And
Mostershire was York.
Yeah, and Gosden was North Song, Plan B, El Gran Papa, and Analyzer. We'll move on from history. History's no good. That ain't going to get you profits, is it?
Unless you're a historian.
Yes. So Volterra heads the market as we currently record the show. Speaking as such, I will chime in first with my two. Involvement is my first one. Ridiculously good performance at Redcar on debut. Very, very swift sectionals, so I know it's a very, very good horse. Was second to Darcom at Newcastle. Just not, things didn't work out for it that day. Should have won at Epsom. Terrible ride from Hewell Davis. Awful jockey. Should have retired after his national win years ago. The second to Nelly Laylax last time was from a wide draw, a tough trip. It beat the rest by 4. And my argument is, despite going up 6, if Nelly Laylax wasn't in the race, it'd have probably gone up 10, 11. So I just think involvement's more to come. The ground will be no problem, I don't think. I know it's a Lope de Vega, but the mother was fine. So involvement is a strong one for me at 14s. My 2 off the tee in this, a little bit bigger price, I think. God, we've got to go down the list here. Bud Scratcher, Whip Cracker, John. Richard Hughes for Indian Jim. Stall 28, which Davies starts to like the high draws come the last. He starts to get interested later in the meet. Maybe it's too soon on the Thursday. But again, we go back to the field and form. And this is where we're at. We're allowed a bomb out last time. Basically, that was the wrong race for him last time. I also thought it was a little bit quick after the reappearance in the field. And now he's had a break and been brought back for this. A strongly run race, John, could see this absolutely.
It's tailor-made for him, really.
Yeah, massive at 28, isn't it?
Huge.
So that's my 2. So, John, I'm coming on for your input.
Well, can I have 3?
Of course.
Because I do like Whip Cracker. I think whatever you play, you've got to include him, really, because I think the draw's pretty darn good. And also, I do think that race is going to really suit him. The other 2 I like are out the 31 box, Native Warrior. Rather like Carl Burke, I'm convinced this is a high 90s horse at the very least. James Doyle hung on to this and won so snug last time you wouldn't believe, and it was clearly a ploy to preserve the handicap mark, which he did. I think he's well in. The other one that I really want to be with is the Barbadian Baron and Starlaw. So
wow.
I thought ran a belting race at Goodwood last time. He basically had 0 chance turning in. 0 chance. And then he was checked up a couple of times and he ran through the line like a fucking Comanche.
Well, you couldn't win from that draw, could you?
No, this horse, I'm led to believe, has proper turned the corner at home as well. He's going really well. Fast ground should suit down to the ground. And you'll need to hang on to your cobblers a bit because he'll get an extreme hold-up ride. You're a little bit dependent on him going like stink, but I think they will. I'm very, very strong on Starla.
This is a horse, really, that was obviously stout light because
he was dead last year, wasn't he, at the end? I mean, you didn't know what the fuck you were going to do with him.
But he put him in the Star Stakes, and I thought it was a bit soft in the Star Stakes because he came there travelling like the wrath of God and then just flattened out. So whether that was just time of his life kind of thing.
I mean, I noted him on seasonal debut. You know them big women that go to bingo, and when they put their arms up on the stage, they're all floppy, aren't they, on the side of the arm?
Bingo.
Yeah, it was like that. I think I said to you at the time, because the Baron had just had a bit of a resurgence around the second run. And I said, this will tell us a lot, really, if he's got this thing running. And to my mind, that indicated very much that he got this thing running. And despite the fact that the mark could be a bit kinder, possibly, I think the horse has enough improvement in him to go on and prove them initial entries were not as fanciful as they looked at the time.
Well, your confidence would make me back that in what you've just said. In your final one?
I've done the three. I had Whipcracker, Native Warrior, Carl Burks.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, you bet. Sorry, Carl Burks. Yeah, because obviously Whipcracker I mentioned, and that's one of yours. Nick Davis.
I really liked the winner of the Goodwood race, Kirat. I really, really liked him. Well, I thought he looked a bit backward, and I thought that he wasn't suited by Goodwood. I thought he hit the line fine, and I think that he will enjoy the extra furlong here and the course. I can see I can see Starlaw's chasing him there. So I'm going to back Kirat and the reverse with Starlaw, and everything we like is drawn high there. Everything we like.
Interesting. Right. So
go low, listeners.
Yeah, the Fav's in 3, Volterra. Yeah, we've naffed it there, haven't we? Right, the 540 is the Hampton Court. This is another good race for a Group 3. Very high standard for a Group 3 renewal, I felt. And to start us off on a starter for 10, John. Again, I'm coming back to the field and for boring. Caviar Heights, Sons and Lovers, which I know you have also mentioned on Patreon. I think these two can really step forwards as long as they're nice. Hopefully, there'll be a nice pace to run out for Sons and Lovers. But they're my two for this race. Again, I mean, you could say JRB, that was favourite at Chester, won the Fielden, but Brian Meehan would have had that tuned up to hell, wouldn't he, for the Fielden when it won that?
I thought so.
What I think, Lee, that you should be ambitious. That if you like the Fielden form, do the ones, the doubles in the King George with the Hampton Court. If you like the Newbury form, there's 3 there. If you pick one, you haven't a double with the King's Gambit there. Whichever bit of form you like. If you get one through, you've got a good double run on the last one.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, King's Gambit. Don't get me wrong. I was very strong on it in the Royal London at Newbury, but for me, 7-4 currently is just absolutely ridiculous.
It'll be shorter if one of those pisses up in the King George. He'll be 5-4.
Probably, yeah. So it's probably something to look at for punters as well. This is the beauty of not necessarily diving in overnight on things. Think, we need to the FOMO, fear of missing out. We need to get the price. These bookmaker prices are laughable and can change massively on the outcome of a race, say, that goes off an hour and a half beforehand. So this is something for punters listening. Good advice from Nick there. So coming to you, Nick, on the race, any firm view?
No, I haven't got any really firm views. I mean, I did like the Newbury form, but I'm not one to tip up at 7-4 or back at 7-4. So I sort of put a line through the race. There's there's so many exposed here. I don't really want to bet against the favourite. I don't want to back it at the price. So it's a no. I just thought I'd point out that if you do like a certain line of form, the doubles with the King George might prove profitable.
Good stuff. Anything to add, John, in this?
18-1 for Pegs, Sons and Lovers will be one of my biggest bets of the meeting.
Yeah, and I know, to be honest, we discussed this, the Heron Stakes at Sandown, which the winner, Alamquam, ran in the St James's Palace.
Yeah.
And it was flying through the line. And the Heron was 1 mile and 1. That was a mile. And I think that form shouldn't be underestimated. And the fact that Sons and Lovers was held up out the back, it was a complete float. We put it out as an edge bet that day, but it was basically a float, I think, to see where they were at. As in, right, what what I don't know if they wanted to go up in trip, down in trip, and they finally realised that,
And I don't particularly think the softer surface at the Sandown played to his strengths either.
No.
I think the faster ground tomorrow really so. I think there'll be plenty of pace on for him. You've got a good jockey, a good box in the 4 box. I don't see a lot not to like about this. I like this horse's physical progression, actually. He's not a typical Jane Chapel-Iron where he's come to the race, he's ribby and, on edges, or he's been worked half to death. He looks as though he's making proper progress. I think there's an awful lot more progression in him. I mean, I look at the favourite rated 107, 7 to 4, and I look at this rated 103, £4 behind. Well, if this hasn't got £4 in improvement in him, I mean, I'll stand tapping.
Good stuff. So we've got some pretty strong opinions there, especially John there, and I'm with John. He's definitely going to be in my bets for the race. So let's hope Sons and Lovers can do it for Big Jane, and that'll please our Jack, who obviously loves Jane to bits and would marry her for all the info that she could provide. Right, we move on to the Buckingham Palace Handicap. The last few winners of this, Highfield Princess won this in 2021.
Okay, no.
Which is quite weird, because then obviously it ended up kind of weird how she ended up. Jedburgh won this in 2005. Regal Parade won it in 2008, John.
Mm-hmm.
The most successful trainer in this is Kevin Ryan.
Yes.
With Yoo-Hoo Magoo.
Oh, dear.
And Lightning Cloud.
Right.
Terrible. Sorry. I'm trying to make a race sound interesting, but not. English Oak 5-1 leads the market. Obviously very progressive, up in the weights now for a facile win last time. The Doyler in the saddle, 5-1 Jolly. I sort of found this a little tricky, to be honest. So I need your help, Nick. I'm coming to you. This is where you thrive, races.
It is my kind of race. One bet only. John told you last time he wanted to go for the Hunt Cup. I wanted to come here, carry the 20-1, win only. Showed its mettle to come through when it's been. He got messed around there and he went through a gap like that. Perfect setup for this. Lots of pace. End of 20-1. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, John.
I'm not arguing. I'm with him.
Yeah, John. You know, like that naps table were a fucking jinx, weren't it? I mean, this year, the amount of bets we put out that's like
one next time,
yeah, like, and this were another one. You know, you napped. Well, I think you were 3 points winning all at something like 25 or something, and it run like shit. And then next time, just pissed up at like 33s. You know, it's the game, isn't it? You know,
I mean, it's a funny arse this. I mean, you might remember last year I was raging at he loved this game. He kept running him in conditions races, listed races, small fields where he couldn't get pace to run at. I was highly delighted when he went to Ding Dongs. Emailed Ding Dong at the start of the season, got no response. I like, you twat. And then, and then I took some comfort from the fact that they were riding him right the first couple of runs. I took enough comfort to back him the second time, and then I backed him the third time as well when he did oblige, but I didn't tip him. Yeah, I mean, he's gone up £2 for a race to me where he had 3 lengths in hand. Yeah, lovely.
Right, love the confidence on that from you two. I've nothing to add there to your confidence for Carry the One. We move on to Friday, which is 2:30 race, kicks us off after the Chariots come in. Who's in the carriages that day? They've got to get Harry Herbert in one day to obviously weigh down.
Because usually Caroline Warren that gets let loose, doesn't she, toward the end of the way. He'll be there to stop her showing the old flanges they get fast.
If it's a warm day, though, they have to air them.
You run a bit of it around it, don't you?
Right, the Albany kicks us off. Fairy Godmother, He's a very strong market leader at 13-8, and I can report the vibes from the O'Brien camp are very, very strong regarding Fairy Godmother. However, that said, as good as she might be, which was for a change of tactics last time at Nars, where she improved on her debut when I think she was just asked to do too much early. I think they found the key to her, drop her in. I think she's got a really good turn of foot, and she's a very solid fav. So I'm not gonna diss that. But the one I want to back is Twaffig of Archie Watson's, probably one of my strongest bets of Friday at a double figure price. The reason being that myself and John had a chat regarding Arabian Dusk, who he rather liked for the race. As the same trainer, won the same maiden last year with Carla's Way, if you remember. Then tried to follow up in the Albany, but he'd blown her brains out. She was 2-3. But Twaffig, for me, despite Archie having his horses ready first time to a degree, this horse still missed a beat at the break and was very, very strong at the line. This is a ridiculous price at double figures. That form is very, very strong. John, you must also share that case that if we like the second a lot, the winner still has to be respected at double figures in this.
Oh, absolutely. I think that second is going to be a very, very good 2-year-old filly. This was more switched on. Instant acceleration, which impressed. Good structure to her. Our paddock guru was at Doncaster. He was impressed.
He loves the mare.
He loves a big filly. Nothing not to like it.
Yeah, it's
a nice draw as well, you know. I mean, Beasley off Dylan, is that a positive? Not for me, but
not particularly, but it is what it is. I would say that's my nap of Friday. Twaffig. I think you can't go double figures that, because that the way they rate Mountain Breeze as 2 wins, you know, like what's that beat? Like we know what that's beat is a very, very good filly in second, and I know she was green in second, and take nothing away. And he's done it before with Bradsell, like these 2-year-old races. So Twaffig for me is
365 is going 4 pegs on this. If there's 4 in
this.
If
4 beats that, I'll be shocked. I'll be absolutely horrified. So massive naps. Nick, anything on this?
No.
I didn't think so. 305 Commonwealth.
I can't remember the last 2-year-old bet I had. I think I can't remember.
305 Commonwealth Cup. I thought it was straightforward. Seriously, like literally. But then, other than draw, the Shaker Bade horses are just miles clear of anything else, in my view. That's how I see it. I think Inisherin and Elite Status are well clear of the opposition. I think odds against 29% for Inisherin, 18% Elite Status, 11-10 the pair. That's where you go. I'll lay 10-11 the field. Nick,
would you like them both being prominent at this gaff though?
I'm not of a 6, out and away, fast ground, yes. Like,
has anything led all the way yet, or been prominent all the way on the straight course?
Don't know. As we're recorded, I'm just looking now. I didn't even watch 540. She's watching football. Oh, Doa's won at 10-1.
Yeah, I know.
And I backed it. That's the producer's fault. She wanted Germany Hungary on. Doa's won at 10-1, and I've missed the race.
Shit.
That's my nap of the meeting. Can you believe it? Doa's won the Kensington Palace, and she wanted Germany Hungary on. This is unbelievable. Wants football on to watch a meaningless Euro game, whilst I fucking missed that. And it's won at 10s, and that's my bet of the meeting. You cannot make this shit up. That's it. Abandon ship. I'm not even backing 2-year-old now. The cannonball of the Americans in the Windsor Castle. Yeah. This is the beauty of like recording when people listen to it. Even Jack's just messaged me saying, Keys, I had a bet on it. It was my bet of the day. And we're watching this shit on telly. Right, anyway. It's where we're at. I feel sick now. Where were we?
Commonwealth Cup.
Commonwealth Cup, yeah. So, Nick, you don't like the fact both are prominent, etc.
I can see I've just seen so many of these. Was Lake Forest form away from Newmarket far better than his form at Newmarket? Is he a flat track horse?
He's obviously won at York, Haydock. That's his 2 wins. You could be right there, Nick, in terms of.
Sure, I'm not sure he's good enough, but is the fact that his runs at Newmarket have been below form, or is he just a flat track bully?
It's a fair point. As we know, Newmarket has strange effects. Look at Notable Speech Rosalien. There's lots of things at Newmarket that happen. I was the only man on the planet to get Kingman beat when Night of Thunder beat at Newmarket. I had a massive bet on Kingman in Guineas. Massive. Really big. And then you look an idiot, and then rest of the season, it just proved it was just complete bullshit. That's Newmarket for you. It's a bit of a kit, really, isn't it? To run, we run classics at a kit. Every one of our classics, barring you'd say Doncaster, which is
that's a kip as well.
But over a mile and 3/4, it don't matter. You've got a big long flat straight to run down. It don't matter, right? But
when you think about it, Ray, we should run all the fucking classics at Doncaster.
We should.
You got a step now to the Guineas. You got a smashing fucking mountain.
Yeah, the service is crap, isn't it? They often Craners always say the fucking service at Doncaster is every year. Oh, there's no grass. There's nothing horrible.
It's probably a lack of investment from ARC, but I mean, but still, like you got Newbury. I'd just change it all up. Why do you want to run them at Epsom and fucking Newmarket? Fucking hell. What kips? Like up and down Dale. Right, so back to the Commonwealth. Nick, you've made a good point there for Lake Forest at a big price. Kind of like that sort of flat track angle. John, anything to add?
Not really, outside of Sheikh Abedos running the Guineas in Sheringham. I think it's the class angle, really.
Oh, it is a class animal. Yeah, I get that, but it won last time it won at a front run in Paradise, didn't it?
Oh, true, yeah. But I just think it's capable of running really well at a mile.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think Tom Stewart, if he was challenged on the front, I think he'd let him go. And the fact that he gets nicely further than this, he's just under 5 lengths short of winning a Guineas. Which of these fuckers is going to get within 5 lengths of winning a Guineas?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
No, true. Right, 345, Opera Singer. Surely is the Coronation winner if they have it right. John, you described Opera Singer would be the 3-year-old filly to beat of 2024. Obviously, she's been slow to come to hand. You'd think they'd have a spot on for this. And surely the English Guineas form is a bag of spanners.
She looked very slack in Ireland, I thought. I think she'll have come on an awful lot for this. And really, I'd struggle to oppose her. I think the only problem might be trouble in running, to be honest. I'd say the second favorite, is it Ramatuelle?
Yeah, the French Ramatuelle.
That's the one. I can see that one having trouble in running as well from the one box because O'Shane's going to be proper locked up, isn't he? And I don't think you should guarantee him fanning out all over the place for him here. And Ryan might just be in the ideal position, 1 or 2 off the fence.
Opera Singer, Nick, coming to you on this. Where do you sit on the Coronation?
I'm not really up that much with the fillies. I mean, the French one should have beaten the other 2 at Newmarket. He did a bit of a sort of like a virgin going to see Salem Hayek, and a bit too soon, as they say. But I'm just not 100% sure to have a lot on Opera Singer. I'm not sure. I don't know if it will be right. It's very hard to explain. I don't know what I saw. I'm not sure what I saw at the Curragh, and it's very, very hard to explain.
Yeah, just last season.
I'm leaving the race alone. Put it in that way.
Yeah. Okay. 425. We come to the Duke of Edinburgh. The Irish angle very strong on Ethical Diamond. Our columnist, he thinks this has got tons in hand. I did like Crystal Black personally. Maybe not the draw in Trap 4. I just like Crystal Black as a horse. I think like it's one of them that will just keep getting better and better. it seems to thrive for racing and wants to win, etc. But so, Nick, I'm going to come to you because I reckon
I
this
like
is
the other one. I like Safecracker.
The
I love
Murtaugh.
this game. I love this game. Yes.
Yeah, I love this game.
Exactly the same pattern as the last couple of years. It's been running a 10 furlong and up to this, and the come from behind angle here. I think it's going to be another race with a few of them will go off, and I can see this coming through. The Balding one's gone a bit too high. Ziggy could come on. I don't think he was actually given a hard time once the respondent thing went past him at Epsom. But I do like Safecracker at the price. I think it's a very, very big price away from the other Irish big two. It's 12, 14 in a place. Yeah. I think that's big.
Good stuff. John?
16, sorry, yeah.
Would you say you could have a float up for this 2 days before it in the Bellocchio race for Copperhouse? Because I thought Jamie Spencer gave his missus more chance when he was banging early than he did this. This got an absolute stinker from Spencer. But on the plus side, it didn't really have much of a race other than a bit of a cruise round for 14 furlongs.
Manfredi's, John. Manfredi's.
I know.
I'll have a fab and a screwball, John.
I'll have a movie.
I love that. Right.
Honestly, it's really caught me eye the other day. And I thought, fucking hell, that's all right. And there we are again. Spencer off, super deck on. Well, he's not going to have an easy time with deck there, is he? The notorious horse killer and thrasher. So you know, this is not a float up. This is not a drill, everyone. Yeah, I mean, 25 to 1. Oh yeah.
There we go. Safecracker. Manfredi's for John with wafers and flakes, as you can hear there.
Sprinkles.
Sprinkles. Americans go berserk if they don't get sprinkles.
Fucking sugar addicts, aren't they?
Yeah. So it's like that's what the girl said. You know, do you want crushed nuts? And the guy goes, do you want your tits blown off?
Way, we're here all day. 505 is the Sandringham.
A big no against this.
I've got a decent bet in here. I think this is a great price, incredible price. This is probably my second best bet of the day, behind the Watson horse earlier on that me and John said, the filly in the Albany. Another filly, Lulu's Gift of the Shirt. How is this 40s? Tom Marquand can't do 8 stone 2. So who has the shirt gone for? Joanna Mason. And you can bet your life that Mick Easterby's been bathing her in ice baths, John.
This could be a ticket out of Sherry Button.
Has he been bathing her?
She's like climbing the fucking wall in the chicken dinghy there. She's nearly out. Adjo.
They'll even film it when she's won at Royal Ascot. Adjo. Lulu's Gift. That is an enormous price, given that she's still quite raw. She was behind Fair Angelica, which of course is a shorter price for this race. But she'll beat Fair Angelica. I do think that she was compromised. She had a tough beat at the start. I think this horse has been primed for a mile, and I prefer an easier race to be able to have more, to be more confident. This is one way, like John says, you can finish 6th or 7th, and it's like you've probably run 6 or 7 above your mark. But Lulu's Gift is a filly on the up. She's still raw. She's improving. She's trained by a master, and she's got Joe in the saddle for 40s. My advice is back this with like loads and loads of places, like 6, 7 places, whatever you can get. I think she's a nice bet at that price. She's much better than 83. Job.
Shirt forecast.
Yes, the other one.
Hard to resist last year. Cracking run at Goodwood behind Darnation and the aforementioned Carla's Way.
Yeah.
Then behind Darnation again in the Mayhill, and then not beaten too far behind Tam Farmer, who was classic place twice, I believe now.
Yeah.
And all this time on soft, and heavy ground out of an exceeding XL mare. Come on down, the price is right.
Wow, 14s, bang! Hard to resist for the shirt and Thomas Marquand. But obviously,
and the king and the old brass.
He'll be there. He'll be there. Yeah. He's had a day off today.
I wonder if he'll punt this.
Right, 540. King Edward VII, penultimate race. Space Legend, 4-1 favourite. Diego Velasquez, 5-1. I've got to be with Diego Velasquez. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm being sorry, but like 2 bad draws in the French Guineas and the French Derby, and you're getting 5-1 your money in a race that's just not of that standard. It's just not. Am I missing something?
I don't have. I'll leave it to John. I don't have much of a clue on it.
I think the worry for me would be if he get the trip.
Do you think he will?
I don't know. It'd be on my mind, especially if they do what they did with Agenda last time at Chester and went go blazing off. And I noticed Daft Arse is riding it, so it wouldn't be the biggest shock if they did.
But have you seen the relatives? Broome, Point Lonsdale, Horseshoe Bay.
It all points to him relishing it. There's just nothing in his running style. I don't know. The pedigree suggests no sweat. And with you all the way, it's aspect of how he's run. But I mean, the thing is, Ed O'Brien has a plethora of these horses, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he had 3 in the Queen's Rares that they nearly looked identical stamp-wise. This one won't look much different tomorrow. And inevitably, at the end of the season, he's probably got 8 out of the top 12 middle distance colts over the course of the season. So, I mean, oppose him at your peril, but I do think there's one here that might be a little bit interesting, and that's Richard Hannon's Voyage.
Okay.
Anyone for a moral derby winner?
Through line through City of Troy, he's got to go close.
Well, he won the derby, right? Which, all right, it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. That was a lot tongue-in-cheek, but it did tell us one thing. It told us he stays the trip, because if he'd been getting tired, them horses were finishing fast enough to pass him, whatever weight he had on his back, and he didn't. He went right down to the gates at the bottom. And prior to that, he was hugely impressive on debut, and I think he's a little bit of a class angle here.
Right. Did you not think on debut, the race that Voyage won, the second horse, John, if you look, didn't that fade badly in the final furlong?
Yeah. Fucking hell. That's terrible.
Anyway.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Do you not think they have 2 runs, one of which was a non-event? You know, I mean, he just had the common sense to not fancying going round Epsom with Pat Dobbs up, didn't he, really, and got shot at him.
Yeah.
14-1's very sporting, surely.
Anyway, Diego Velasquez is probably the one to be on. 6:15 to finish is the Palace of Holyrood. Can we get any more difficult a race on a Friday to finish than this one?
They won't leave anyone skint. Right, I've got one here. I fancy.
Go on, Nick.
Go on war. Jason Hart, 2 tribes. Where 2 tribes go to war. Second to James Delight, who's absolutely shit up at York the time afterwards, and he's only £1 higher. He's in a race that this will come second a few times, but this will be smaller fields, and this will suit. Plenty of pace in front of him. My favourite 5 furlong jockey, Jason. And if you want a really related double, you back this in a double with James Delight for Saturday for the Wokingham, if he's declared tomorrow. But no, I think the pace will suit. I think the high draw will suit. James Delight is well in the Wokingham for a 3-year-old when he's off 102, and when this one was second to him, he was getting £7, and this off for 91. I think James Delight will be about 107, 108 now. So it's got to have a chance here.
No, good stuff. The reserve for me, completely random if it gets in. This literally is a winner waiting to happen over 5 furlongs and a big sprint handicap. Came from the back, was out battled by What a Wonder, 5 clear of the third. This horse is going to move forwards this season, be a lot better than his rating, and would be, and if it gets in 16-1 is a very, very big price. Again, the high draw factor, so completely random for me from the Harry Charlton yard. That would be I would be betting this on the day if it gets in. John?
If I get my wish and Ascot becomes a 3-day fixture comprising 12 race cards, this will be the first one jettisoned.
Yeah.
I detest this race.
Yes.
I just refuse.
Yeah, let the dog in.
Yeah, let the dog in. Yeah.
Let it
down
lick
the
the
path.
place.
Let the dog pick one.
Yeah.
Indeed. Right. I think that's enough. We've had a good chat. Me, John, and Nick. We're back on Friday for the next preview with myself, John, and Jack to go through Saturday's fair. So hope you've enjoyed it and hope we provide you with a few winners there because there's some good opinion. I like these next 2 days. I do like. I fancy us. That's all from us. Bye for now.